Is there any sound for this meeting?
Can you hear me?
Only when you talk.
Oh, I can, Jill, can you say that again? Or can you try it again? Or,
Can you hear me? We don't
Yeah, I
have visual. Our cameras aren't working for some odd reason, but we do have audio.
okay, I can hear you. I don't hear anybody else.
Speak again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Keith, yes. Sorry, my son's doctor's appointment went late, so.
So just
I
recap.
can hear Keith and Sarah and everybody. I'll mute
Okay.
it now.
Okay, just to recap, Jim made the motion to approve the agenda and the 3 nights of meeting minutes, and it was seconded by Andy. Oh, no, Jeff.
Jeff.
Everybody voted to approve it.
Who's all there? Who's in attendance, if you don't mind me asking?
Andy Neff, Dan Crandall, Keith Priest, Jim Cummings, Jeff Bolingbrook, David Parks, and Julie Farr is on Zoom.
Okay. All right, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
Okay, item number 1 is a discussion decision for subdivision amendment to the Wasatch View Commercial located on 2700 North, parcel 19-016-0163.
Okay. So here is the on Zoom location.
Okay. All right, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
No, would you ask her to mute, please?
It's not that.
Okay, item
Settings in YouTube. There we go. Perfect. So here's a location. There's 2700 North. Here's I-15. Here's Highway 89. Here's where the mobile home park, Wasatch View is, or the mobile home community. This is the location for Wasatch View's subdivision. I don't remember if you recall having it come through previously. So this is what the original subdivision is. So they left it as a remainder parcel A. And then they have this lot, which is the Jimmy John's and the Little Caesars. So item number 2 is doing an amendment to have these 2 lots become buildable so they can use lot 3 and build on it. So that's what the amendment is for, and they would have to do all the improvements to make it buildable, which the conditions are listed in your packet. We just have to make sure certain things are taken care of.
So the applicant's actually asking for lots 2 and 3 now to be developed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just point it out? So this is still lot 1, which is right here.
Correct.
Lot 2, is that just this part here?
2 would be right here.
Lot 3 is this part right here.
Yep.
So,
Correct.
all right, just so I can see the divider of it. And so it still abuts 2300. Oh, I'm dying here.
2700.
700.
And then this road will be dedicated.
New road that just got put in.
Yep, and it will be dedicated to the city.
And then this will be taken out. No, I'll steal someone's here. This one.
You can steal Dean's, he's not here.
Isn't this a road that's going in, right? Or this is a road that's kind of a fake road right now?
So let me show you. This is kind of what it's gonna look like. You'll have this, and this is lot 3, this is lot 2.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's perfect. Yep, I just needed to visualize.
You're good.
I know the plot's not part of the
No,
first part, which is the
I
subdivision.
made sure I had it in there because I figured you'd ask.
Thank you.
Okay. Jill or staff?
This one's pretty easy. We just needed the conditions
Right.
first before we can record.
The applicant's not here.
Natalie,
Applicant
right?
is here. Natalie, if you come forward, please. State your name and address.
Natalie Nichols, 2010 North Redwood Road, Salt Lake.
Great. You're going to get going on all 3 lots then right away, huh?
Just the first lot, Lot 1 and Lot 3.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then lot 2 will just be vacant for the time being?
Yes, yeah, no plans so far, but I'm sure it will be coming pretty soon.
It sounds like it'll be, so the question I'd have is the buffer between 3 and 1, you got 2 that's nothing's happening on?
Correct.
Will you maintain that? Do we have it in our ordinances? It has to be maintained?
The owner has to maintain it, so it would be D. Hansen.
So in other words, we don't want 2-foot high weeds. And,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, commissioners, any questions? Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I think she said it all.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
thank you.
Then we'll entertain a motion that we'll approve or deny it. This is the city council, correct?
No, amendments are just you guys.
Okay, then we'll make a
Decision.
motion to approve or deny the subdivision amendment to Wasatch View Commercial located on 2700 North, parcel 19-016-0163.
I'll make the motion that we approve item number 1, subdivision amendment to Wasatch View Commercial located on 2700 North, parcel 19-016-0163 with the conditions by staff in the report.
Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll go ahead and
I
second
will,
it.
Too late, she was slow.
Did you have a question?
no, I actually stopped because I heard him second it, and I am in support of that, so it's
All
good.
right. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're gonna have to have a little delay there,
You think?
Chair.
Okay. Item number 2 on the agenda, discussion decision, site plan for Dutch Brothers located on 2700 North, parcel 19-01, same, I guess that's what's going in lot 3.
Yep. So
Figured that
again,
out pretty quick.
there's the location, nothing new. So here's the site plan. We looked, there's enough parking. The dumpsters are there and they're enclosed. Landscaping is right where it needs to be. They do have all their will serves, so Bonavista is fine and approved this. They're working with UDOT for some of the things for the site and the drainage, but everything else meets all of our codes. So that's why we recommended.
So Natalie, what is Dutch Brothers?
It's a coffee shop, but they have a lot more than just coffee. If you ever look on their website, they've got like other drinks, shakes. I don't know if they've got pastries, but it's a very large menu.
It's strictly drive-through?
Yes, no internal, they do have a walk-up window, but there's no internal seating or ordering.
Okay, so the parking stalls there are strictly for the employees, correct?
Correct.
All right, sounds good. I know the other one that's up the street, be one of your competitors. They seem to be doing very well, so.
Okay, well, good.
I will
We'll
say
hopefully
Dutch
bring some
Brothers,
over.
hot chocolate is the bomb.
There you go.
That's my favorite place when I go up north. That's me.
It is called
Okay.
Dutch Bros, though.
I know,
Do we have any
but that's what.
questions for the applicant since she's here? No? Okay. With that, we'll entertain a motion to approve or deny the site plan for Dutch Brothers located on 2700 North parcels for parcel 19-016-0163.
I'll make a motion that we approve as read with the conditions as outlined in the staff report.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
I will second that.
What is it?
I'll email you tomorrow.
Okay, item number 3 on the agenda. This will be a discussion and a recommendation to City Council. The general plan and future plan land use map change to the westmost part, not port.
Yeah, I know.
Part. We are in a desert. I don't think we have any ports here, but anyways,
It's been a long week, sorry.
you're good. Westmost part
We
of the
just
city.
lost.
Jill, I'm so sorry while you're loading that up, just to let you know on the audio side of this, and I don't know if it's the same experience for Julie and Sarah as well, but and I don't think it's anything you guys are doing, but it just keeps cutting in and out a little bit and then it'll kind of go fuzzy. So please speak in your mic.
Okay. Yes, that's
Oh,
happening on my end as well.
They are speaking in their mics. I'm watching them. So it's our audio.
Something's going on. It goes fuzzy, like it's static, and then it comes back in. And so you might have to repeat.
Okay, we'll try to address that. We're moving forward.
Amy, this is what was going on before, so we need to let Mike know.
I'll send an email. Thanks.
All right, so we're getting into the nitty gritty stuff.
Okay, you're up, Jill.
So do you guys remember making the ordinance change for
Yes.
the actual ordinance?
Yes.
We don't have anybody behind it right now, so we were going slow to make sure we did it right. So now we're just fixing the general plan and the future land use. So this portion, which is again right next to this area, we're just adding the blue to where the red is. And what that is the mixed use according to our general plan and our future land use map.
So this is basically a formal recommendation out of City Council. Okay.
So in the actual general plan, this is what it states currently. We are making one modification where it says more than 50, we're putting a minimum of 75 will be commercial. And that's from the ordinance that we've taken.
That's correct.
So, and again, this is currently what's in there. We're just adding this little piece.
Right. Okay, any questions to staff before we open it for public hearing?
And just so you guys know, the reason why we did it over here is because one, it's very close, as you can see, that was one of the comments in our staff report.
Now say that again.
The reason why we felt it was a good spot to pull it over is because one, it was really close, and two, if you can see this little spot right here, we're not going to get commercial in that back.
No,
It's too far away from the road. So that's why we were trying to think outside the box.
Okay, good. All right, no questions. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we open legislative agenda item number 3 for public hearing.
Make a motion that we
Chief?
open a public hearing at this time.
Okay, do we have a second? We have a second. We're now on the public hearing.
Keith, Jill's trying to talk.
Jill
Julie.
or Julie?
Julie?
Yes? Julie? Julie, are you talking? Sarah, are you trying to talk?
Yes, I am actually. So is the public hearing open?
Yes.
Okay, so in reading through the packet, and I don't know if the commissioners would like to make this part of their recommendation, or if you just want to do whatever you guys decide. But I noticed some text language that perhaps might need to be considered for a change. And Jill, you mentioned that commercial must require a minimum of 75%. I would change the word must to shall. So just some
I
thoughts that
would
way.
agree. It's just
Shall
a
is a
legally.
binding, yeah, so. Sorry.
We can change. No, that's fine. Thank you for catching that one.
That's a good recommendation. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, any comments from YouTube or letters to the city?
I have not heard anything.
Anyone here from the, okay. With that, then we'll entertain a motion to approve or deny the city council recommend.
I'll make a
Close.
motion, we close the public hearing at this time.
Thank you.
Second.
Public hearing is now closed. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to pass or deny the recommendation of city council on the general plan of future land use map change on the westmost part of the city as outlined.
Whereas this meets the requirements of our general plan and it meets the discussions of the city and all of the discussions of all the past discussions of all the surveys and everything else that we've had in the past of the citizens, I'll make a recommendation that we recommend to the city council the approval of the changes as outlined with the note of shall be a minimum of 75%.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, legislative agenda item number 4. Discussion, recommendation to city council, general plan of future land use map, change to the east portion between 700 North and 2550 North.
I'll make a motion, we open the public hearing this time.
You want to just do that right away before we,
Yep,
okay.
let's just get it open.
I'm okay with that. We have a motion for public hearing?
I'll second.
Okay, we are now on a public hearing.
Sorry, I'm writing things down because I'm also taking notes. I'm going quick. Okay, so if you guys remember when we came through talking about the ordinance, this would be where mixed use east is. Currently, it would be about 900 west on 2700 and 2550 to the east to the border. The general plan amendment would change that to 600 to the code. So right now it's general commercial. We have someone that has requested it to be changed to the mixed use and to allow residential. So that's the history behind it. But they want to change the general plan to allow this as a mixed use area. Let's see. So again, we would be changing the text, would already be changed because of the mixed use west. So this is really allowing this part to be part of the mixed use and changing the general plan, or not general plan, the future land use map.
So is that still the 25, 75? 25% residential, 75?
75 commercial.
Right.
According to the general plan and where it's located, staff's recommending denial just based on this is, the general plan was, the input was given by residents. That's it. You guys get to make your decision to recommend whatever you feel is right to city council.
Go ahead.
I'd like to
Is this a
hear
public hearing?
Say it again.
Is this, sorry, is this a public hearing, or I'll wait until you are allowing comments?
It's public hearing.
Okay.
Yes, we are in a public hearing.
Do you want to discuss it before, or is Jill, are you done with your staff report, or are you're going to present more information?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. I just had a few questions for staff. The water that's in that portion, the secondary, or the water, the access is the mixed use west is on Bonavista
Yes.
water. Is that right?
So
Okay,
Sarah,
so mixed use east then moves to the city's water.
right. I didn't mention this because I knew you were bringing it up. That's why I stopped. So Sarah pointed out
Oh.
the mixed use west, which is down here. Everything west of Highway 89 is Bonavista. And Bonavista would be able to have that enough water for residential, where the city right here does not. We don't have enough water right now.
So staff on this one is recommending denial
Mhm,
based on that.
mhm. Based on the
Doesn't meet
general
the general
plan,
plan.
and right now we don't have the water. Down the road, we're working on it. You know, we're hoping 20,
Jill, can you
25.
explain what that entails in order to get water there?
Yeah, let
Will
me
you-
finish, Sarah. Hold on.
Okay, I'll mute myself.
So right now, we don't have the water. In about 20, 25 years, we're hoping to get some more infrastructure and everything going. However, right now, all the water is coming from the top. We are limited with Great Basin, the water that we get. So that's the reason we have just enough for the residential that's planned. If we allow residential down there, we're taking away from where it's actually planned. Does that make sense?
Does.
Down the road, when we get that infrastructure and we get everything all put together, yeah, we'll most likely have enough water, as long as we don't keep getting droughts. We're knocking on wood. But right now, we don't.
Okay. Sarah, any other comments? Anybody here want to discuss this item? Please come forward. If you state your name and address, please.
Dave Laloli. You want my home address or? Oh,
Yeah, if you would.
2273 North, 2825 West, Plain City. So
Sure.
we are the ones representing some of the land in there and requesting this mixed use east change.
Okay.
We do have quite a bit of commercial planned right now, and we have a tenant that is really good, big box tenant, or I should say staple tenant, not a big box. A staple tenant that's coming and has some, basically it needs for us to be able to have a little assistance to make that a really good situation as far as rental goes, or the lease for that tenant goes. Their lease isn't the most amazing lease, but however, the use that they have is what we feel is pretty beneficial to the city.
But does it
And
fit
to the
within the 25, 75?
Uh-huh.
But the problem is we don't have the water.
Correct.
So
Yeah, that's what we've met with staff and talked to them about the water issues, and we are aware of that, and we are also willing to wait as well, maybe not 20 years. If we can help move the process along, getting the water there, the infrastructure, we're open to it. But we do have this tenant that would like to be started, as far as they would like to get started in December if possible. We're working on the back end with the city to move that along. They would like to have an opening date of November 2022. And so.
So that would be for the full development or just for the commercial?
That would be just the one tenant there, right?
Commercial.
Commercial, correct. And we do have commercial planned along 2700 north of frontage, which will be something like mixed use or fast casual dining, service oriented retail. And we are getting a fair amount of interest from some pretty large names to come in and have the dining there. So,
right.
But really the staple tenant is the one helping bring everybody to the front.
So I guess my question to you would be, and you don't have a crystal ball, but with this water shortage for the 25% residential, is that going to be a deterrent to your tenant?
No, sorry, it's not. It doesn't have really anything to do with the tenant. As us as the investors and the developers, we need a little assistance to try to make sure that that deal stays safe and secure on our end. We have approached the city on if there's any RDAs or anything like that that they can help with to make it a possibility to bring this tenant. To this point, nothing's been placed or put forward. And so when the mixed use west was kind of going through, I said, well, we could use that on the mixed use east. And if we had, X amount of multifamily there, we can definitely justify bringing this tenant,
Sure.
and making it happen. As well, we believe having a little more multifamily on that block will help, because there is a lot of commercial plan for that corridor. And I'm assuming down the road it will justify it, but our tenant as well would love to have more doors near his place. It is a family fun center.
Well, and that goes back to the problem at hand.
With water.
With water, yeah.
Correct. And that's not, like I said, it's not necessary for him at this time. It's more or less for us as a safety net at this point. And if we know that we can put that in 3 to 5 years, and I know she said 20 for the water, we are open to looking at what needs to be done to help move that along.
I can guarantee it won't be 20. It won't be 20.
We haven't seen any studies yet. I'm sure they will provide or any calculations. And I think that would be important to find out too. But really, it's more or less if we can get the zoning changed to where we know that area we have can be zoned in the future or can be produced as multifamily, then that helps us move
So
forward
can
with the
we do an
development.
RDA on this?
No, let me explain with RDA and then I'll give you some more information on the water. We have enough water for commercial. That's what the
That's what it
plan was down
planned
there.
for.
That's correct.
Multifamily takes a whole lot more water, and that's why we don't have enough. So with an RDA, we have the one down at Parkland. We've looked into doing another RDA, but with everything with COVID, we would have to do another application. We have to put so much money up front, and then we have to go to all these property owners. My brain is gone. Districts like the school district, mosquito abatement, and ask for them to hold from taking so much. And with the person that we work with, he said, fat chance, because they're all hurting for money for their departments. That's why they're not gonna let you guys take another RDA for another location. And what, in turn, we would be spending more than what we would even get out of that RDA.
So are there any other creative ways that we can allow applicant to build and hold? Sorry, is it possible? Are there any other ways that we can be creative to allow the applicant to allow his tenant to build and not do anything with 25%, knowing that that's got to be residential when the time comes?
His tenant can build regardless of the residential. So
It's a matter of we're willing to take that tenant and have them come without the knowledge of we don't have any assistance.
So what he's saying is they have this property, the tenant's gonna pay them rent, and for how much rent, it's not gonna be a lot for them for that whole parcel, where the residential will kind of make up for what that tenant would pay him for rent, is really in breaking it down.
And I think that's the part that we'll come back to is, and what she's saying there is we have to decide tonight is, are we willing to make a change to the zone? And we need to keep a focus on this. Are we willing to make a change to the zoning to say the 75%? We need to come back to that general plan of saying, when we had surveys, we had open houses, we did all these things with our open house and looked at the general plan. We said, we need to preserve that 2,700. We had that, that part down there where we said, oh, we're going to open up that to tiny little homes down there right on 2,700. And we packed the place and we had major discussions. We said, we need to preserve that 2,700. Now we have a small little contingency that's saying, oh, let's open it up to 25%. the businesses are starting to come. We need to preserve that corridor because that's what our general plan says. And just because we have a business as well, if I can get these homes in there, and that's a backfall. So if that business doesn't work, I can hurry and make up my money for the 25% and I'll throw some homes in there. Well, the next person's going to want the same thing. And the next thing we're going to have is our corridor that we've preserved filled with all these, that corridor is not meant for, we've preserved it for the businesses. The general plan is for the businesses. And I know we're in the public hearing and I can have more discussion, but I said, let's make sure we finish the public hearing. But ultimately, that's what the discussion is for, because we need to keep that in mind. That's what the discussion is.
I have a comment before you close the public hearing.
Is there anybody else for Keith? I might say that should we ask if there's anybody else open for public hearing?
Sure. Are there? So there's nobody else. So it sounds like your option is going to have to be.
I have a comment,
Because
Keith.
I agree with what Andy is saying.
He hears you. Hold on.
We zoned
Okay,
for a
sorry.
particular reason. If we make an exception, now we're opening exceptions all the way down the road. We made the exception for this guy, make the exception for us. And pretty soon we've got all the commercial, none of the residential, because there's no water. And then it just makes the future plan and the vision that we had is kind of off the rails.
We have the commercial ready to go there.
Right.
It's just gonna hinder the ability to actually have to make that happen. So unless there's other ways that the city can come through and make that a little more.
Well, I think.
Big box staple tenant that will bring amazing people, that can be a phenomenal commercial development. I don't think.
Julie?
I think it's Sarah that has
Sarah?
the question.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hang on. Can you hear me?
We can.
Keith, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So if you guys can hear me, so as a council member, I know that, if this comes to council, I can express my concerns there as well. But as a private resident of the city, I have some major concerns about allowing residential to go all the way down 2700. When we rezoned that corridor, it was for the commercial, and we have a serious lack of commercial within our city. I realize that there needs to be a balance, and already we have more high density residential than any other city around us right now that in this location. North Ogden's coming up fast and they might beat us, but with the expansion of the mixed use west, we allowed, for that to Highway 89 because we could see how to be able to support it. If we don't have the water, we don't have the infrastructure, we already are tight with staff, like mega tight with staff, with our public works department, our police department. This is not just let's add residential. This is increasing our staff load and our staff and having to hire more personnel, more police, more public works, more all of that. The schools, to provide for more of this high density residential down 27. And besides that, you guys, you have to remember we get one shot on that road. And if you don't do it right, kiss your commercial goodbye. There you go.
Thank you. Any other
Do you mind
comments?
I make one quick comment, and I appreciate all of the comments that have been made tonight. Just as a focal point for the Planning Commission, you all know this, but your role is specific in relation to the general plan and the planning stuff. Not that Councilmember Yuri didn't bring up excellent points, but just to make sure decisions based on that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing at this time.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 The public hearing is closed. Commissioners, any further discussion?
Commissioner Priest, I have if you can hear me okay, I have a couple of concerns about that particular property. I really don't think that there is a comparison between the mixed use west and mixed use east, even though
You're frozen.
She froze.
I have a concern about the water. They are different locations, so I don't see a comparison. Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Kind of.
Okay.
get your-
You know what? I will cut my comment short. I just have a concern about an assurance of water. They would like an assurance from us, but we can't even give an assurance that we will have the water
Okay,
necessary for that. So I some real concerns about approving this change.
okay, Julie, you're on record. Thank you. We're going to vote right now then. How's that?
Can I make one comment?
Yes, please.
My concern with this is my understanding on 2700 North that because UDOT controls that access there, there's very limited access from 2700 North into that property, and most of the access needs to come off of 2550. Is that correct?
Correct.
So if you had residential on the 2550 side, all of that commercial business would have to go through the residential, correct?
Depends.
Depends.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, I mean,
So they would have to have a main opening, which, like you said, UDOT, we have our agreement along 89 and 2700. Sorry, I'm like that close, but I got to make sure I speak into the mic. So, for example,
They won't have to come off 2550. They could have a turnoff lane
however,
to get into the,
I've seen these guys' plans and it for the commercial end on that spot, and it's pretty nice. They have an entrance that they're trying to get approved, trying to get approved by UDOT right in the middle. And the hopes is we will be able to have a light there instead of at this private lane on both sides. So that way, most of the commercial will be able to come out that way. They will have an entrance off of 2550 and we'll have shared access to the other parcels to answer that question.
So-
When we would get a light, I don't know, and it all depends on UDOT approving that and then having the traffic count warrant the
Right.
light.
right.
But that's what we're hoping for.
Would that be too close to 600 and right there?
Nope.
Maybe.
UDOT will look at it and say yes or no. We
I
have
guess you
the
can look
agreement
at
right there,
Drive Where you stop every 15 feet. It's
so it just depends.
okay,
It's all UDOT's choice on that one.
okay.
It would make more sense to have it on a bigger entrance than a private road.
So Dave, I would just encourage you to keep working with staff and get your tenant involved in however they can to see what kind of water can be procured. It sounds like everybody wants to see it go. It's just we can't make exceptions on future land use.
We can procure the water, is that something that would change the mind of the
Not for me, but that's,
Well, why not for you? Because it's meeting the 2575.
no, we're not voting for that. We're keeping no residential down in that area because
Oh, so this is all
we want,
This
100%
is
resident or
just-
commercial.
we want,
This is just the general plan and the future land use. If you're allowing a mixed
We don't
with
want mixed
residential
use, we
in that
want
area.
commercial left in that zone.
That's all that is.
Okay, thank you. That cleared up for me.
That we want to preserve that corridor for commercial.
So now I have another question. Do you need the residential, or would you rather have all commercial?
There have been no,
Why are we even asking?
So that's where I'm
in the city just to see if there's any assistance that we can help entice this to bring over. And so the only thing we can do is having that same issue.
Yeah, and
If there's other options, we're open to express that 1,000 times.
Sure. Sure.
If there's something else, then we're all here.
sure. I appreciate that, but we've put a lot of hours and study into this, and this is how we ironed it out. And 2700 North it's a commercial zone, and we ought to utilize that as much as possible within our community, so.
Yeah, I've seen that piece particularly over the last 10 years, lots of people try to do that, but don't have anyone that can go. We actively have people ready to go. We're just trying to see if we can get a little assistance to that.
Okay. All right, well, with that, we'll entertain a motion then to approve or deny to City Council the general plan and future land use map change of the east portion between 2700 North and 2550 North, knowing that staff has recommended denial on this agenda item. Motion?
Based on the meeting of our general plan and other proximity of residential components of the mixed use, I will recommend that we deny to our city council the general plan future land use map for the recommendation that's set before us tonight.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further
I will
discussion?
second that motion.
Okay, we have first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, if there be any?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Hopefully in the future. Hopefully. I mean, we're excited to see things starting to happen in the city, so.
This will go through city council on the 28th.
Right.
So
So item number 5, discussion recommendation to city council ordinance amendment to the mixed use east.
So regardless of the general plan and future land use, we wanted to give the option if you want to add that component to the mixed use east ordinance.
Shouldn't you have done that first?
No, because we have to, because of what's trying to come in. We have someone that's pushing for it. We have to do the one and then the other.
Wow.
But we've had all the conversation. So
So.
staff doesn't make recommendations on the ordinances.
Understand. We need to open for public hearing. Entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing to discuss this.
Do we have a second? Second. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now in a public hearing. Do you have any comments from YouTube or?
I didn't advertise that we would be taking comments on YouTube, so it's just in person.
Okay.
Make my life a little easier.
No, that's okay. I understand. Dave, of course, same thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Commissioners, any reason to discuss to change the zoning as is to a mixed use? I think we just beat this one pretty hard, so.
We just have to have it on the books.
Got
That's
it.
it.
This is changing the.
Actual ordinance.
Yeah.
To
Mhm.
add the multi-family.
Right,
Yep.
right. Which I would have preferred seeing beforehand.
So another
know.
reason is we can change it in the ordinance without that. They just would have to do the general plan amendment change again before they do a rezone.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
why.
All right, well, if there's no further discussion, then we'll entertain a motion on the discussion for the recommendation of approval or denial to city council on the ordinance amendment to the mixed use east.
You got to close the public hearing first.
Recommend we
We'll,
close the public hearing at this time.
And make the motion on the other as well. Okay, all in favor closing public hearing, say aye.
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 Who seconded it?
Aye.
Jill did. Julie did.
Okay.
It was just late.
Hey.
Entertain a motion on that.
Make a motion that we recommend denial of the changes made for the residential component to the mixed use east at this time to city council.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Recommend denial. Item number 6, discussion recommendation to city council. This is rezone from A2 to RE20 on parcel 17-062-0045 and 16-062-0099.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting my brain back together.
It's okay. Bring mine with it, will you?
Okay. So, do you remember how we came through and we had a lot of properties that were split zoned?
Yes.
Mr. Gibby's is split. So if you can tell, the bottom half is A2, the top half is RE20. If you wanted to put a house right here, he couldn't, according to our ordinances. So we're trying to clean everything up to the property lines. He does fit the RE20 requirements. This first lot is just over a half. This is 0.88 acres, which is just under 1. So both of them fit the RE20. We see no issues with pulling the RE20 all the way to the property line. Again, it meets the future land use map, the general plan.
We discussed this early on. We talked about that little piece that would eventually come this way, so.
Yep, so it's just these 2 lots, these top 2.
Okay.
This is someone else's. We're just touching these 2.
So they will be,
RE20, that's what
RE20.
the request is.
but
And-
the lots are already a lot larger than RE20.
Just
Yeah.
barely
Didn't you say one was 0.88?
88, so it's not quite an acre.
Okay. All right, commissioners, any questions for staff?
Make a motion, we open up for a public hearing at this time.
And we have a second for public hearing?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're now in a public hearing.
Aye.
Mr. Gibby, do you want to step forward and set your name and address, please?
Yes, thank you. My name is Stu Gibby, 3146 North, 1075 West in Pleasant View.
Okay. This looks pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah, I think it is. I just have one question, and that would be the reasoning for maybe not making it just the same as what is directly to the south as far as the zoning. I've asked you to forgive me for my lack of knowledge concerning zoning and its ramifications, but in order to gain a building permit, I also have to get access along a street, right? So I would
Right.
need access. To get that access, I have acquired parcel B, but could you show them where parcel B would be located? It's in the brown area.
Oh, it would be right.
Right in that corner. And so if I were to get a building permit, then these lots would have to be combined. Does that make sense?
It does,
In
for
order for me to get
a road.
a
Yep.
road. And so consequently, as I look at it, I'm not sure if there's a reason for having this zoned any different than this.
You want RE15?
I don't know the different zonings, but as
So-
I look at it and think about that, the parcel B that I have is here, and again, we would be, if these combine with that little parcel B in order to grant me the frontage requirement that I would need, I think that we wouldn't
So,
split zoning there either, is that correct?
well, when that comes, we'll just fix it all in one shot with the
Well-
with the subdivision or whatever the one lot, yeah.
Will he even be able, because that was the question I called in with, will he be able to get to those lots
So
and have a frontage available without calling it a flag lot? That, I want to make sure that he's, I mean,
I'm going to show you something really quick.
that's not what we're doing here tonight, and so it's just purely a new subdivision.
So let me show you.
She'll pull it up here for
It's
us.
actually right here. And the cool thing is Weber County GeoGizmo just updated everything within the last day. So you can see this wonderful subdivision. Okay, so here's parcel B. Oh, let me share my screen. So I almost ended it.
Look at this technology.
Okay. Just straddle this. All right, so where did my mouse go? Here's parcel B, and here's the two lots.
Right.
If he combines these, I couldn't at the time notice for this little one, which we're still planning on doing it when you do the dedication for that portion. We can easily do it one and then another, so it won't be a problem.
But do lot line adjustments here though, right?
Yeah, we can do that at the same time.
This
But
is not
I
working.
couldn't get this parcel ID number, that's why we didn't do that one.
Oh, okay.
So
this
what
is gonna
would
change
happen
right
is
there.
these three lots would become one when he does his amendment,
Okay.
and then he will be able to pull the road up a little, and he'd have plenty of frontage between this one and what will be right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but, okay, now, pre-thinking, because that's not what this is for, but I don't want him to try to do something that he can't come and ask for, but, so in a sense, this would be then a cul-de-sac?
This won't be, this is gonna be frontage, and it's gonna be part of the lot up here. There's
It's a
gonna
really
be,
weird shaped lot.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
It's a really.
they're
strange
gonna
shape.
bring the road up.
Once the turnaround's on this parcel though, this becomes an R lot, and so you really can't build on it. So this lot line would have to be adjusted. This would then be combined here.
So we're fixing these two
Oh,
lots
this-
right now.
This is a lot, and this is a lot.
Right now,
Correct.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then when he comes ready for an amendment to change the lot lines, we're gonna change this one, so it's boom, boom.
Okay, but what I'm saying is basically there's a turnaround right here.
Right now, temporary right now,
Which
and
will
it's
be
going
right
to
here.
be remaining there until he does the dedication right here.
Okay, but I guess I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 500 feet. Isn't that too long for a cul-de-sac?
We're actually looking at changing that a little bit. A little bit. Don't ask. The fire marshal is already in that part. We're just turning it just enough. It's not gonna make a big
So
difference.
we're okay, maybe.
Yep.
And both lots will have the frontage required.
Well, it will be one lot and this lot will be an R.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But
As long as he has something workable and not creating flag lots or anything else.
yeah,
He knows the ordinances that he's into.
Jill has educated me. for a
Okay.
few
So
minutes
the
later.
I just don't like
You're
people to
okay
be-
with-
I just don't like
okay.
people to be surprised when they come back and go, well, what do
so
you
the
mean I
RA
can't do anything?
15, just so everyone's aware, the RA 15, you have a requirement on house size,
Right.
and you are limited to just household pets, no other animals. RA 20, because it's a larger lot, you have the potential, because it depends on the size of the lot and where you can
Sure.
put chicken coops and,
I don't want
corralling.
chickens, but I hear you.
you know, or unique pets. We'll put it that way, because I will admit I've had unique pets growing up. So it all depends.
And for the purposes of this, I know it's really just a planning commission and we're just talking zoning alone, but in a conceptual plan that Dana Schuler devised, which would involve not only, this is not working well, these lots, but also the potential future for where this road would then exit out to, I think, is that 1100?
Yes.
the lots that she conceptually devised that would involve all of this empty space are around like the smallest ones are 0.46, 0.47. If this was RE20, would that preclude something that's close, but not
match,
quite?
it would match the RE20.
Okay, so even though they're not half acre.
Yes, it's just 20,000 square feet
Okay.
of a lot. Yours is just bigger.
Okay, yeah, and
So
I
you're,
really don't
you're
care.
good.
I'm just saying, looking at the
No,
future, so you don't have to revisit this again and again and
Yeah.
again.
No.
I just thought it might make sense to make this all
RE20.
consistent throughout, but
As they come, we'll do those, because we don't want to just automatically start changing them quite yet. Oh, I'm gonna stop
right, and I'm
sharing,
not suggesting
sorry.
you change the
But-
Erickson's property or,
Right.
you know, the Lyman property. I'm not suggesting you change anybody else's, but
Right.
just to think for the future. If
Okay.
that were to come up.
No, we appreciate that.
No, thank you. All right, any other questions for the applicant?
But just to be clear, can I just pose the question one more
Please.
time then? If the lot size is say 0.45 acres, they wouldn't, if it was zoned RE20 right there, they would still be okay.
As long as it's 20,000 square feet, it's fine.
Okay.
So RE20 is basically 3 lots per acre. RE15 would be 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
Not quite.
Half acre would fit the RE20. It's about
So 2
0.4
lots?
0.46, 0.47.
2 lots
would-
for RE20?
Yep. Because you'd have a little sliver left. So we just say half acre.
Yeah.
And the RE15 is 15,000 square feet, unless you're a corner lot, then it would have to be more. But again, that would be about 3 per acre.
Okay.
So for me, I mean, as long as that works in Dana's plan, if that were to ever come to fruition, then I don't necessarily have a problem either way.
And you'd have to go through this process once again.
Yeah, well, I don't intend on doing anything, but in any case, so, yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Yep, well, thank you.
Make a motion, we close the public hearing at this time.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This time, we'll entertain a motion. This is for city council to approve or deny the rezone from A2 to RA20 on parcels 17-062-0045 and 17-062-00-99, or 99, not dash.
It's been a long night.
Yeah, it's been a long night. Entertain a motion?
I will make a motion that we're just recommending approval, right?
Correct.
Yes, so that we recommend approval to city council to rezone from A2 to RE20 parcels 17-062-0045 and 17-062-0099.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to there be any? Okay.
Aye.
I love that. Yeah, it is.
It will be on 28th.
Okay, other items, commission communications. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Did we decide if we're going to have a meeting in 2 weeks or not?
I'll get to that one.
Okay.
That's on her part.
Okay,
This is our part.
our part.
So I have to confess, in my mind's eye, I was thinking RE20. Are we talking 20,000 acre lot or 20,000?
Which roughly comes out to 0.47 or 0.48.
And that's with the infrastructure, road, sidewalk, curb, gutter.
The lot just has to be that amount.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
So if you put 2 lots that are at about 0.47, 0.48, you're almost to an acre already.
In RE15, you'll get 3 or 4?
Just 3.
Just 3, okay. All right, commissioners, any questions? Concerns? We have a couple new guys here, if they'd like to spend a few moments introducing themselves.
Yeah.
My name is Dan Crandell. I live over on Evergreen. My wife and I moved up here about 4 years ago. And the timing for the invitation was perfect because I feel ready to join you people.
Wonderful.
This is a fantastic little community.
Yes.
There's very few things I've seen that are not in line, and that makes me very happy. And I've learned some things here tonight, and so I just participate in just following the lead at this point. As you said, I'm an alternate or whatever.
You're actually not an alternate anymore.
She changed that on me.
See how fast you got promoted?
See how that happened? Well, yeah, okay. So I pay attention and I learn, and the developments, things that are being discussed here are things that have been on my mind since we moved up here, particularly along 89 at 2700, and that's bang right on here.
Yeah, just we're completely separate from the planning commission or from the city council.
Yes, yes.
Complete separate entity, so
Yes.
we comprise a body of citizens.
Okay.
And we're using common sense and applicable knowledge to build the city the way that the citizenry wants it. And so what we do in this body is we mainly make those recommendations to city council to approve. Some things are ours to
Yep.
do.
So legislative items you would be recommending to city council. Those legislative items are the general plan, if we change anything like that was recommended tonight, ordinances and rezones. So you've hit all three of the big ones
I did.
tonight.
I did.
So both of you guys already know what those are. The things that you guys will be able to make the decisions on are site plans. So when there's commercial that comes in that needs a new building, you guys will be the ones making that decision. Amendments like tonight, just amending a current subdivision, you guys will be making that decision. Subdivisions, the city council likes to have that final say so they can make sure everything's going great, because we're going to end up taking some of the infrastructure, which is usually the roads and the water and the sewer.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Welcome. And
Dave Park.
Dave?
And I have zero experience in anything like this, but
That means you're qualified.
but the experience I do have is from sitting on that side of the rope. Wanted to build an addition to my home and ran into some issues there, and done a lot of research and had a lot of help and tried to find a way to make that work for me. And thanks to you good folks, that's on the way. I've actually got the building permit in my hand right now and hopefully start digging next week.
Well, you impressed a few people for them to make this recommendation.
Well,
So welcome, we're glad you're with
I
us.
suppose it's good to be here with you.
Now, is Dave, is he also an alternate, or is he?
Right now, he's an alternate, unless one of you guys step down or we find a struggle with attendance.
Gotcha.
And I'm good being an alternate, so.
I don't think it'll be long, but we'll see.
When you go to regular, they double your salary.
Yeah.
The items on the agenda tonight, these are items that have been in the works for quite a while, correct?
So
Yeah, let me explain.
we go ahead.
Yeah, please.
So the first thing you'll see is today's agenda. But if you look up in the agenda where it says approval of amendments for August 5th, September 2nd, and 23rd.
Okay,
So all that information is in this packet.
in here.
In here.
Okay,
So what you're looking at is you're looking at 3 planning commissions worth of meeting notes.
okay.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay, but
Usually
I
it's
could see
right
him looking at this
after.
thinking, we didn't talk about any of this stuff. So,
I can figure that out, I think.
So by law, I have to notice things. So I have to put notices up on the state website, our boards, and mail them out to so many feet within the project. So for example, the rezone that we did, I had to send out, I want to say it ended up being about 45 notices because I had to go 300 feet from the properties. So I mail those notices out, put them everywhere. really everything has to be noticed. So
Right.
at least 2 weeks before, I know exactly what's on the agenda. But these applications, besides the rezone, usually are put in months before.
So I want to go back to Dave again.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was just going to apply to build on that lot,
Which he's done his concept plan.
then he could do that
Mhm.
without residential.
Yes,
But he wants the residential,
yes,
and it's not in our zoning.
no.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
So, what?
I'll save it for off the record.
Okay. So, how the city only can help so much, one, because we have budgets and we have our projects and we try and help everyone we can in all reality. And if we can find ways for them to save money, we will bring that up and say, hey, this is an idea you might want to try. But again, it's not our choice. The applicant gets to choose.
City doesn't offer incentives at all.
We try to do the RDA if we can, but with everything that's gone on, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And we don't want to spend more than what we're gonna get back,
Right.
because we don't want our citizens to have to pay more to make up the difference. Yeah.
Well, and I'll chime in on that too, Jill. I think it really is dependent on the development, and it's not that the city doesn't want this development that's coming forward, but we really do have very limited resources, and so a lot of it is negotiated based on the benefit to the city as well, and kind of how we can work through those different issues too. And to Jill's point, we do have those budget limitations we're working with.
So, yeah, exactly like Amy said, we try and help everyone where we can, but not at the expense of other things having to be pushed back because of other issues.
I think that's fair. I mean, I could tell there's a lot of communication between staff and him trying to get to where he wants to be. So he's not going to get his way right now, but he can keep working, right? But I agree, and thanks, Andy, for pointing that out. We really did beat that one for a long time, so we shouldn't be even considering putting holes in it right now.
And he'll have his chance with city council.
Sure.
And they'll have their final say, but.
Well, we're still on the record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next item is staff communications training.
So we will have a meeting on the 21st.
We will have one?
We will.
Okay.
It'll be one item.
Okay.
And that is it.
What's the one item?
It's a subdivision. It's called Matthew Meadows. It's a really nice looking one.
How Mountain Dew?
And I will have to recuse myself.
Oh.
So.
It's my brother's property.
All right, well,
So-
look forward to that.
What are some of the ways that you use the word help? How do we help? Redevelopment funding and
So-
RDA, that's RDA, right?
Yes.
Or county funds to develop, or what are some areas we can offer?
That's a good question.
And usually it's tax incentives and those types of things.
Yeah,
RDA is going to be the most popular one.
RDA is very important.
Yes. And we have one down at our, let's see if I can, down in this area, it's called our industrial area. So this road right here, all the way up is where our RDA is.
Okay.
And that's and we've applied for WACOG funding and things like that. So there's some things that we can do, but it has to fit certain qualifications. So if we apply for funding with different entities like WACOG, grants, we have to meet their qualifications.
Yeah.
But RDA would be more of a help for some of the developments, but it doesn't mean we can get as much as we're hoping for.
Right.
And with COVID and everyone struggling in that aspect.
Yeah.
So we try and look for different ways that we can help. Like, for example, one way that we were trying to is we put this through, they didn't pay for an application. we as a city, we're trying to be nice. We put it through.
That's some of the help that we offer then.
That's something that we as a city can easily do.
Hey,
I
Sarah.
mean, so for example, I think for tonight, there was 2 applications, which was the first 2. The rest we put those through for people. So we try where we can.
So normally there's an application fee for that?
Yep.
What is it typically?
Depends on what it is. A rezone is usually, I want to say is about $350.
Really?
But what that covers is staff time, engineering would be the deposit,
Yeah,
and whatever's
no,
not used, we
Ogden
send
City
them
would
back.
never offer anything like that ever.
And it's your guys' time and their time for their meetings.
Let's see how good I am.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
I'm impressed. Wow.
any other questions?
Just
These
one
are
last,
good questions.
one last quick question. The development going on 2515, 2700, the new company coming in, will they come before us with a plot plan, or will that
Yes.
strictly go with the staff?
So right now they had a concept plan, and I can tell you what it is because there's an actual application.
No,
and we had
is
it.
this the Sun?
Oh, Sun Pro?
Sun.
Sun Pro will come through that one. This one that he's doing, they did the concept plan and it's Rush.
Oh, okay.
Rush.
I was going to
It's-
guess that when he said that.
It's like a Toads in a box. You know what you can do at Toads?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So that's
an
what's gonna go
indoor
here.
activity.
So you guys will see both. Because they're both site plans, there's no building there. You'll see Rushes come through whenever they're ready, and Sun Pro will come through as well.
Now, will that
So
change the road?
Sunpro is gonna fix that one-way road, right? That's gonna
The
disappear.
city's gonna
The
do
city will
that.
be doing that. Well, depending on, that's going to be on the council's agenda for next week, and
But how do
depending
they-
on that determination, the city may be doing that.
So, one way the city is proposing, it depends on city council if they'll approve it. You won't be able to turn into 1,000, you'll only be able to go up 2550. You can turn left onto 2550, so you can come on to 2550 off of Highway 89.
Right?
Great. You can't get onto 1,000. 1,000 will then become a 2-way road, and 1,000 will automatically turn into 2550 until future, we don't know when that is, we will eventually bring it down here. So it
Sounds like
is
an absolute mess.
actually is a straight road to Highway 89, and we would get a light. But that's in the future.
But then it goes up to,
600. And
no, I mean, if it goes up to 2700, it becomes a T nightmare.
Because 1,000
Well,
wouldn't be
no,
a
I mean,
through.
it becomes a cross-traffic nightmare right now.
Right.
Well, right now it's a nightmare anyway because
Yeah,
people
it's-
go down the wrong way.
Yeah, but it's.
Well, it is a
becoming
nightmare.
So we're gonna make it better as best as we can.
May I say something?
Please.
So we.
Come up to the mic, please. Thanks. I just gotta get you on record.
Sorry, I'm late. I just barely pulled in from Salt Lake from an appointment, but city council just approved the transportation master plan. And one of the points of interest that we are requesting, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, there's up to 10 that we can request intersections and areas that we want to have worked on.
That's correct.
And one of the ones that at least Councilmember Marriott and I requested, and hopefully that's on there, is that area right there at the end of 2550 and Highway 89,
Right.
to have that included in that master plan. So, plans, as you guys know, if you have these plans, it gives teeth to access for funding when you go before WACOG and whatever else. So with that transportation master plan, it's key in providing funding and planning and all of that. So we've requested that area to fix that nightmare.
So
Well,
I'm
that's
just trying
a
to.
really excellent point, Sarah. Oh, sorry.
In my mind, if I'm heading north and I come to 2,700 and I want to go straight to 1,000, I won't be able to do that.
Nope. You turn right here
Not,
So
and
you'll
you
have
make
to
a
make a right.
loop-de-loop.
Yes.
And you won't be able to make a left either. It'll be a right turn
You just
only.
don't use that road.
You just do a loop-de-loop right here. And
I
then if you
usually-
want to go out, you have to go up here to 600 and
You
then
go
you're
to
back
the
out.
light and turn by the chevron on the corner to access 1000. Until we fix that intersection.
Correct. That's the temporary fix until we
Right now,
can
you can
go
access
to the
that road
long-term
off of
fix.
Highway 89, but the way that I understand it, they will close it so you can't access it anymore off of Highway 89. You'll have to go on to 2550.
How do the delivery trucks get into?
To Sunpro?
They'll use 2550 or 27.
They use JM Thomas from what I understand. And
Okay.
they'll be able to go straight through to 2550, and you'll see it in the site plan. They'll have an entrance right here.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be able to go right in.
I'm just gonna throw out there, it's definitely not a fully baked solution. We're working on it. It's been a lot of hours spent talking with UDOT, frankly. And to Councilmember Yuri's point, we're looking at making a long-term improvement. There is a plan for a signalized intersection in the area. There's some private property that intersects with some of that planned intersection, and no pun intended. And so we're trying to work through some of the details with that, but there's definitely some cost components that are making the project challenging. We didn't want to lose out on getting Sunpro in our community because they're going to be a wonderful contribution in addition to the city. And so this is definitely an improvement to the road, but it is not the final solution. And we will be working on that and have worked closely with UDOT at the current, for the current solution to get where we are now.
Okay, and then one of the other 10 areas that you're looking at really hard, I'm sure, absolutely positive, is Alberta Drive and 500 West. You're looking at doing something with that, right?
I'm making a note of it as we speak. And one thing to note too, and I really appreciate the comment on this. With the transportation master plan, we will have opportunities for public engagement. And I'm hoping to tap into our planning commission and have some additional involvement with your group to help with this, whether it's a representative or two involved in some of the steering committee meetings, but just to really help bring the project along, because it's a really big deal and a really awesome thing that we get to do this in our community, and we want to make sure to do it right. And so we will make sure to keep the planning commission apprised of all of those opportunities for comment throughout the process. And if you have other ideas or suggestions, you're welcome to bring them up. We do have the 10 locations where they're going to be doing the studies, but that doesn't mean we won't look at other intersections and areas of the city as well. So please keep that in mind too.
Well, there are things that can be done, but as everybody here is aware, during school open and close, that's a nightmare.
Oh, I know, I drive it every day. I believe the mayor actually requested. Correct me if I'm wrong, last meeting, I believe that the part of the request too was the area 500 West and Weaver High Drive, right?
Yes, that was on my list. I didn't have the Alberta portion of that, but I've added that now to my list.
I believe that was part of the, I think the mayor actually made that formal request as we led into approving going out for RFP.
Yeah, because you feel it all the time trying to leave.
Yeah, we
So
do.
So when I leave my subdivision now, I have to go right.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a left-hand turn, I might as well wait for the sun to.
Yeah, I think that was part of the discussion because we also discussed the current conversations on social media about that intersection, ouch, and what to do.
Oh, yeah,
So-
the accidents and all that.
I believe that was part of the request of one of the 10 areas, and that Highway 89, I'm trying to think of the other 8. But
we don't have all of them solidified as of yet, but I think we had about 4 or 5 that came up in council meeting. It's really kind of a fun thing to do to get to look at transportation, how we move around, and half of the focus of that plan, well, almost half of the focus, a good portion of that plan is going to be that active transportation component and melding the two together. And we actually got a UDOT grant for that portion. And then the consultants we picked actually have some expertise in working with the railroad companies, which is wonderful with our community and how many crossings we have. And so we're going to be working with them on that as well.
Okay, good. Thanks, Amy. We appreciate all you do. Just do us all a favor. As you discuss these things, don't just discuss them, act upon them.
Oh, she is. She's
Because it
always.
just seems like sometimes we have something that we talk about and 20 years later, we're still talking about it.
Just take the mic.
I will tell you, and I said in the last, I think I've told this to everybody I've been around, seriously. This particular city administrator, Miss Amy Maybe, is way different than any other city administrator I've ever worked with. She actually follows through and follows up and plans and implements, and yes.
There you go, Amy, right from Sarah's mouth.
Well, Sarah is very kind. Everyone's been very kind. Pleasant View is an amazing place to work. I almost said impleasable, but that was not a word and that was not right. I was trying to say incredible and pleasant.
You're just tired.
I am tired. I've had sick kids this week. So a couple of notes, if we're still on the staff item, I don't want to miss this, but I do want to welcome Dan and Dave. We're so thrilled to have you on the Planning Commission. We have scheduled on October 19th a fiber open house. We've had an internal fiber committee talking about recommendations and proposals that would go before the city council. They wanted to take this to the public first and get some feedback. And then it's something that is not yet approved, but would be considered possibly before the council. And we're really excited that we're having, oh, sorry, jump in.
Can I ask really quick?
Yes.
On the fiber, if the city adopts that, is that going to be mandatory for the residents or will it be an option?
Right
Come
now,
and
there's
ask lots and
yeah,
lots
come and ask
and
at the
lots
open house,
of questions.
definitely. There will be some options, but please come and bring.
Yes.
Yes.
Come and ask lots of questions. Ask what's going on, how it's going to be, and bring your resident. I'm serious. I think it's important. You guys need to know what's going on. Come and ask lots of questions.
There's some options there, definitely. And sorry, I can't see anybody. So if I cut anyone off, it is not intended. I can't see anybody except for Julie's beautiful face. So Julie's the only person that won't be cut off by me tonight. And then we're having great progress on our Veterans Monument, but it sounds like, as with everything, the COVID delays continue. Our granite will be coming in late, likely, and so we will keep you posted on the dates on the ribbon cutting for that and get you an invite to that. And that's all the items I have. Oh, sorry.
Right.
The granite that was being shipped from India didn't quite work out, so they're looking for other options here.
Wow. Okay. Well, that'd be nice to have it done, but we know that it's going to be top notch, so.
I know it's so exciting, and yeah, there's always those delays, but we'll find another appropriate date to do it. It's going to be really cool, and love to have y'all come out for that.
And most everyone in here is aware of supply chain problems with COVID, so it doesn't surprise me that granite or anything else is held up. It's hard to get anything these days.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So motion.
Woohoo!
Or adjourn, thanks.